He masters his dyslexia. The library becomes his school room. Becomes his school. He can read anything he wants. He can learn about anything he wants. And so intellectually, he becomes this very well-rounded young man. But the thing is, he lost out on learning how to make friends, how to talk socially to people, how to socialize in general. Those are all the things you learn while you're in school. You don't have classes for it, but it's just part of the schooling
Absolutely.
experience.
Absolutely.
So, by the time he's 15, he started school when he was 6. He's been to 18 different schools. That's disruptive for any child.
For any adult?
Yeah,
For any adult? Anybody?
yeah.
Yeah.
So he quit school completely. He's tired of police picking him up. His
The truants
juvenile
officers in New York.
jacket is getting really big, but there's not one word of criminal activity in his juvenile jacket. That's unusual for that time period, and little boys skipping school.
Especially in New York City. Especially in New York City. There's always a crime that goes along with skipping. That's a very good point you just put.
Yeah.
I never thought of that.
And in New Orleans.
Right. But it started, like, the truancy officers were really on him in New York.
Yeah.
Really on him.
And so they put him in boys' reform school.
Yeah.
That brought in social workers. The social workers investigated home life more, and they went to the judge and said they thought Lee should be taken out of Marguerite's hands. That's a very clear indication. Things were not good at home.
And it takes a lot to take a kid away from their parents. It takes a lot.
Yes, it does. She gets wind that they might be getting ready to take her child, so she moves back to New Orleans. The 2 older brothers, they've already left home. They got as far away from Crazy Mama as they could. Robert joined the Marines. John, I'm not really sure which service.
He did. I think he did the same.
The Marines?
I think so.
Okay.
It's Marines or Navy.
Because I know Lee said he wanted to be like his brother.
Yeah.
You know. And so he quits school, gets a job so he can help Mom financially, and then he joins this Air Civil Patrol. Now, this is where I believe the next 2 years does the majority of the psychological damage to Mr. Lee. We know that the man that was running that program, his name was David Ferry. David Ferry was ex-military. Okay. He was a CIA agent. That has been verified.
Right. And a professional air pilot.
He was an air pilot. He was a
Yeah.
pilot. And he had been fired from his job as an airline pilot
Good paying job.
because of pedophilia allegations.
Right.
Because he was a pilot, he was also involved with the mob or mafia, whichever word you want to use. And he was flying hitmen all over the country for them to do their work. I have a problem with that.
And to Cuba, apparently.
Yeah. And
I'm assuming Mexico.
possibly, he was gay, which I don't care.
Well, it's beyond gay because, yeah, I mean, if the pedophilia with the boys, young boys.
Exactly.
So it's not.
Being a pedophile.
Right.
Those allegations were all over New Orleans.
Yeah.
And his friend Clay Shaw, he was of the same persuasion. So there is this huge possibility that Lee was passed around, that David Ferry saw this vulnerable, unhappy, insecure young man that never had a father figure and took advantage of the scene, had his way with him. But he's the one, I believe, spoke to whoever the higher-ups were and said, look, this kid is smart, easily manipulated. We can get him to do anything, anywhere we want. We need to recruit this one. I think he was targeted by the CIA as young as 16 years old.
Yeah, I mean, he was obviously already part of that crowd.
Yeah.
Obviously, hugely influenced by them. There are records that David Ferry, when he was up in the plane, might have touched him. He touched other kids.
Yeah.
That whole crowd. If you get into it, that whole crowd is even Walker. Walker got the same thing. He was playing around
General
with
Walker?
General Walker's playing around with Navy men over in Germany. The young Navy men, and then he gets caught because he's trying to persuade them into, he gets caught for political reasons, but I have a feeling it's actually for the touching young. I think he ends up being he was touching kids and the kids are reporting him.
Yeah.
He didn't know who to keep his hands on and off of.
Yeah.
And then he came back here and he got arrested for it in his later years. So there's record of it,
Yeah.
But by then it was too late for the 60s.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of bisexuals and all of it
and
is.
that destroys a person. That just
Well, who knows what it does, and who knows where he was, who knows where he was touched, who knows how much he was touched, who knows, he has no dad.
That's right.
He barely has brothers, so we don't, there's nobody to.
Yeah, so we really
If he
don't
gets-
know how bad was.
We don't know how much he got picked on, and how much he got molested, and how much,
That's
right. And there's also that other part where he might have been willing, or if at first wasn't willing and then switched over.
I think he was manipulated. And a 15-year-old.
Well, especially with Clay.
You know.
With Clay Shaw, with how old he would be, and David Ferry was because it's Clay's older. Walker's oldest. Clay's underneath him, and then you got Dave Perry as far as age groups go.
Yeah.
So, he would kind of see himself in a Dave Perry, even though Dave Perry would be much older. But they're all around
it's a bad
him.
situation.
And who knows the language and the actions that they're taking, and
That's
the people
right.
they're around. So.
And that's what.
But it's obviously bisexual.
Right.
Obviously, huge gay men.
Yeah.
Not flamboyant gay, but.
Well, yeah, because in
in the
those days
closet.
you had to stay in the closet.
Right.
Yeah.
So, when you met, how did you meet Oswald? How did he respond? How did he get into this house?
Well, he gets after he goes to Russia because of the CIA, and he meets Marina. They get married. He has a child, and they come back to America. Now, supposedly, the government says he defected. No, he never did.
Yeah.
There's no proof for it.
Doesn't make no sense either.
But yet our government welcomes with open arms this defector.
And pays for them.
Well, now that's not unusual. Anytime an American gets overseas, if they get mugged, lose their money, spend too much, and they can't get back home, you can go to any American embassy and they will send you home. You have to pay that money back, but our government will do that on
I didn't know that. I didn't know that part. That's the part that always confused me. I was like, wait a minute, someone just gave you, a fare to get back, but then they scrambled it so that it wasn't a direct flight or anything like that. It was very
exactly.
Ships and all this stuff to get them back here,
and so but the last place they lived together as a family was at 214 Neely Street, which is only 6 blocks away from here.
Okay.
You can still go there. No one lives there. You can go in the backyard and see where they took the pictures of him holding the rifle.
Okay, you're saying that the rifle shot was when they were all the family, and that's here in Dallas.
They were all together.
So, when did he come through your door, and when did he knock, and how did that process start?
Okay.
And you said you were 11?
I was 11, and Marina took that picture of Lee at 214 Neely Street.
Do you believe that was taken? I've looked at it.
I believe it was in April.
Right. Do you believe that picture?
I don't
I've
know
seen
if
it.
It's been doctored or not.
It looks doctored to me.
I have a feeling it probably was.
I have it in my van if you want to.
Oh, I've got it.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, I've got it.
What did you think? I didn't like the way he leaned.
Well, I don't like the shadows.
The shadows, yeah. I didn't like the shadows.
Because
I don't like the posture. But
because when he was, Marina was out hanging clothes on the line when he comes rushing out and wants her to take a picture. So the sun was up.
Right.
But yet the shadows are under his nose.
Right.
And I just don't think it was.
It's really weird because, like you said, the body shadow goes one way, the nose shadow goes another, and then even the background, and then they're talking about there was a third picture, and then the ring is on the different finger for that third one, and if you look at the heads, and this is what I did, if you look at the head looks like a cutout to me.
We'll see, and they didn't have Photoshop in those days.
They didn't have Photoshop, but they like it wasn't
but
like.
They would cut and paste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the picture looks. I've looked at and we're talking about the Time Life magazine, and the picture just looks odd.
Yeah.
Like any way about it is, first of all, the head looks too big. Like the first thing I said is like the head looks kind of big for the body.
Yeah.
But that's also because I thought Oswald would be bigger, frame-wise, being a Marine.
Yeah, no. And so...
When you met him at 11, you'd be looking up to him.
Yeah, of course I was.
Was he big and strong? Was he...
No, he was a little man. He might have stood 5'6", 5'7" at the most.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a small man.
And muscular or...
No.
Skinny?
He was skinny.
Could you see his muscle? Like, did he have abs?
Well,
he came out of that.
I never saw him without a shirt on, so
okay.
I can't address that. But, he was well fit. The T-shirts fit good.
Did he have a workout pattern? Like,
not that I'm aware of. But while they were at Neely in April, he gets a new assignment from the CIA to go back to New Orleans.
Right.
Marina ends up staying with her best friend in Irving, Ruth Payne's house.
Now, how much of Ruth Payne how much have you met Ruth Payne?
Yes,
Have you talked to her?
a little bit.
What's your thoughts on Ruth Payne?
I wish she would not toe the company line, but I did ask her point blank, do you have fond memories of Mr. Lee? And she looked at me and went, oh, yes.
Yeah.
She had no problems letting him play with her children.
Live in the house.
She has fond memories of him. So how can you also agree that he's the lone gunman?
Yeah, they
I have a problem with it.
She really, like, the question I would ask her is, you really threw this guy under the bus. Like, I mean, like, you all did, but you more than anybody, Ruth Payne threw Oswald under the bus. That, from my point of view, from what I've read, like, and it seemed like you said, like, it seemed like they're kind of close.
Yeah, because before Ruth and her husband Mike separated, Mike Payne would come over to 214 Neely and pick the whole family up, take them back to Irving, and they would have barbecues.
Right.
And all of that.
Did that happen here?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Did you ever meet Michael? Like,
Oh no, never met.
did you meet Ruth before?
I only met Ruth because she lives in California in a Quaker community, and she came to speak in Irving for one of the anniversaries.
And that Quaker community, does this seem more like a cult or a community?
No, it's a community. Yeah.
Do you think she was trying to do the same thing with, like, because she bought multiple houses in Irving? Do you think she was trying to do a small little community there too?
That I don't know. I don't know. But the thing is, she and her husband lived in Philadelphia. Because she was Quaker, she was part of her church's foreign exchange students with Russia. They
Right.
were trying to help bridge the gap between the United States and Russia.
Well, and then with that, do you believe that, or do you think it's one of those programs that is actually trying to manipulate Russia, just kind of like we,
No,
you know, like, because
the Quakers.
do you know what, like, the Obama situation, like how he got here?
Oh well, I don't want to even get into Obama.
Yeah, but you know, like, because then they took from Africa their best students and stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
how Obama got here. So I'm wondering if that's similar to what they were doing.
I don't think so. Back in those days, the Quakers were very staunch in non-military, no guns, no contention in the home. They lived a godly life at all times.
And when you met Ruth Payne, did you get that feeling off of her? She
was very
pacifist, I guess the
relaxed.
word would be.
She
Yeah.
was very relaxed and easygoing with me and the people that were around me.
Did she treat you well?
Oh yes, absolutely. And but also being part of this foreign exchange organization in her church, she did outreach work for a Russian senior community.
Right.
Those Russians had been brought here by their children. So these senior Russians could barely speak any English. She wanted to communicate better with them. So she went back to school and learned a little bit of Russian so that she could communicate better with the seniors.
And this is the part where it starts to seem like this is more CIA related than...
Well, then Mike gets transferred to Bell Helicopter to Dallas. Well, she naturally follows her husband.
Right.
But she doesn't want to lose the ability to speak a foreign language. And as you well know, if you don't use it, you lose it. And so she started looking for a Russian community here in the Dallas area. Well, there was only one in North Texas. So she joined that group so that she could practice Russian and just have some more friends.
Did you read any of the letters that she sent to Marina? Because I have.
I have not.
She doesn't just speak Russian.
She spoke quite well.
Yeah, well, she does, like, in the papers, if you read them, she's either asking Marina, am I saying this right? Or she's telling, I can't quite tell. Mm-hmm. I couldn't tell because it's in Russian. I couldn't tell if she was saying, Marina, you said this incorrectly. You know, or which sounds more like a Ruth Payne thing. Or she said, am I saying this right? Mm-hmm. And I can't tell because I don't speak Russian. Mm-hmm. But
exactly. Well,
is she as smart as a whip to you? Like, is she
she's very smart?
Is she one of the smartest people you've ever met?
Yeah, I think she's probably very much right up there. When Lee and Marina get back to the States, she's having a hard time learning the language and acclimating to our society. She's getting a bit depressed and she's unhappy.
She's very unhappy.
And so Lee wants to make that better. Mm-hmm. So he looks for a Russian community that he can introduce her into. He finds the only one in North Texas, just like Ruth did. So they joined the same group. Now, did CIA have
George DeMornshield?
George DiMaggio, he was part of that group.
George DeMornshield, yeah.
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 So, that would be, since he already joined that group way before Ruth or Lee. But that's why Lee joined the group, was for Marina's sake. And then Marina and Ruth met. They became good friends. And it was a win-win. Marina could learn better English, and Ruth could learn better Russian.
Well, part of that, from what I've read, is it's a little
I know they want. So many people want to say Ruth was a handler, that she was Lee's handler. She's a stay-at-home mom. She's got 2 kids. They live on a simple income from Mike at Bell Helicopter. Just because Bell Helicopter has military contracts does not mean everybody that works at Bell is part of the CIA.
Yeah. Well, with her, it's more her family actually had CIA in it. Her sister worked.
But that doesn't mean everybody in the family's CIA.
Well, her sister was a psychologist. In Virginia. So.
Well, she had another sister down in Louisiana.
I didn't know about that sister. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's
either
a lot of gray areas.
Sister or a second sister. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, if you look at Ruth Payne, she's kind of taken on a lot of it seems like her path is a little like followed her sisters and like in psychology
Well,
and stuff like
I
that.
won't.
I mean,
I
she's a
won't-
learner and a teacher. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
I won't say absolutely she was not attached to the CIA as a handler. I don't honestly see it. But we
Yeah.
don't know all the workings of the CIA and how often they would meet somebody or anything like that.
Yeah, and then the part I always try to remind people is that was the third family. Like Marina got passed around because Marina and Oswald were on a break, and so they were a break up. Then from my understanding, the Russians all didn't. Most of the Russians didn't like Oswald, so they were part. And it didn't seem like Marina was happy. So it's my understanding that the Russians were trying to break him up, and
That could have been.
and my understanding is also that she lived at 3 different houses, and one of them being so she went from George de Mohrenschildt, and George de Mohrenschildt doesn't have anything nice to say about Marina. But Jean de Mohrenschildt seemed to like her. Jean de Mohrenschildt works with Zapruder, and then then she goes to the Millers. Are you familiar with the Millers?
No.
So before she goes to with Ruth, she's actually living with the Millers. She's pregnant.
Yeah.
She's pregnant
Yeah,
with.
that's why she and Lee were arguing.
I think so
Because
too.
he got the assignment to go to New Orleans. Well, he can't say to her, honey, I have a new assignment. We have to move to New Orleans.
Right.
He can only say, honey, I want to move to New Orleans. Let's start packing. She said no. And they were arguing and fussing and fighting. And that's when Ruth suggested to Lee that he leave Marina with her. He go on down to New Orleans, find a job, find an apartment, get settled, and when he was ready for Marina to join him, to call, and she would take her down there. Well, that's exactly what happened. And so Ruth and her 2 children take a long summer vacation and stay with her sister that lives in Louisiana. On her way back, because the oldest child has to go to school, she stops in New Orleans to see how her friend is doing. Finds out that Marina has had no prenatal care. This upsets her. And she suggested to Lee that Marina come back with her, and she would make sure she got to a doctor and make sure everything was okay.
Okay, now this is the part that confuses me. Can I repeat that?